Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondumiso Vilagati alongside Nomakabiso Nkambule, and here are your top stories. His Majesty King Eswatini III has received letters of credence from the Federal Republic of Germany and Israel. The Acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jablan Mabuza, says the Eswatini Electricity Company is in negotiations with Eskom to renew the existing bilateral agreement on electricity that is coming to an end in 2025. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pilap Teleze, says under the Student Study Loan Recovery Project, the ministry has collected over 14 million emalangeni in a period of 3 months. The news. His Majesty King Eswatini III and the Kingdom of Eswatini appreciate the contribution of the Federal Republic of Germany towards the development of Eswatini in various sectors. The King says the Kingdom of Eswatini will gain knowledge and expertise on development as the Kingdom is working towards development. His Majesty was speaking during the presentation of letters of credence from Germany and Israel at Lozita Palace.
The Federal Republic of Germany is a Western European country and a member of the European Union and the United Nations. The ambassador-designate of the Republic of Germany, His Excellency Andreas Perske, arrived at Lozita Palace for the presentation of letters of credence to His Majesty the King and Ingwenyama of Eswatini. As the largest contributor to the European Union's budget and the European Union Development Fund, Germany remains indirectly one of Eswatini's major donors. There is also regular exchange of views between the two governments on issues relating to bilateral relations and development.
Your Majesty, may I please present the ambassador-designate from the Federal Republic of Germany. Your Majesty, please.
Mina, Nomkami, Siyajabula Kakulu, Sifike Lapa Eswatini. It is both an honor and a privilege to convey to Your Majesty the best wishes of the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, for peace and prosperity for the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini.
His Excellency the Ambassador-designate assured on doing everything best to further strengthen the ties between the two countries.
Your Majesty, more than ever before, we are dependent on good relations to cope with the challenges of our time. Angiti kufanele sisebenzisane kanzima wakati kwamazwe etu noma kunjalo. Firstly, I think there is climate change. It is our joint responsibility to ensure that our children also can live on our planet. Therefore, we have to limit the global rise of temperature to 1.5 degrees. And we have to mitigate the effects of climate change, in particular for countries which are particularly vulnerable, such as Eswatini, but many others as well. Secondly, there's the COVID-19 pandemic. It has had a serious impact on the world. We are convinced that we can fight this pandemic only together. That is why Germany works closely with international organizations and initiatives to provide support, and I'm happy that Eswatini could profit from some of this support through the African Development Bank, through the World Bank, the Global Fund, and others.
His Majesty King Eswatini III says the bilateral relations between Germany and Eswatini have yielded fruit so many times as Germany started supporting Eswatini so many years ago. His Majesty says Germany has assisted Eswatini in many aspects such as education and employment creation.
We value very much the support which your country in many, many programs, bilateral, in education is one of them, where your country has been involved. And of course, we know that Germany has been, is one of the biggest contributors when it comes to the EU. You have a number of programs which you also implement as part of the EU partnership agreement and so on through here Eswatini, and also the regional structure and so on. So all of this, we really appreciate the support of Germany's contribution, and I am sure that with your appointment, Ambassador, it is one of the issues to see how we can expand the cooperation that exists between our two countries, and we are looking forward to really work closely on these issues. With these words, Ambassador, we are very happy that you are here to present the letters of credency. I wish to assure you that we will give you all the necessary support whilst you carry out the duties as the ambassador.
Both countries are dependent on good relations to cope with the challenges of the time. The ambassador of Israel, His Excellency Eli Belosche-Kovitsky, arrived at Lozita Palace to present his letters of credence to His Majesty the King and Ingwenyama of the Kingdom of Eswatini. The State of Israel is a small country found in the Middle East. Since its establishment as a state, Israel has placed great importance on foreign policy. The country has diplomatic relations with most African states, including the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Right. No problem. Your Majesty, may I please present the ambassador designate from the State of Israel. Your Majesty, please.
Presenting his letters of credence, the ambassador expressed his commitment to strengthening the relations between the kingdom and the State of Israel.
No matter what, we know that we can rely on our friends from Eswatini. My foreign minister had sent a letter of appreciation that I had the honor to transfer on my previous visit to Her Excellency, the Foreign Minister of the Kingdom. On behalf of our government and the people of Israel, I would like to reiterate once again our deep gratitude for your stance. I understand that the motto of the kingdom is seeing Kaaba. I hope I pronounced it okay. The fortress. There is no country that will understand this principle better than Israel. Like the Swati people, we believe that the aim of the government is to protect the people, our main resource, and to create a fortress in which our nations could feel safe and realize their potential. Unfortunately, Israel had suffered many attacks on its people, and we have to fight for our survival even this very day. We have reached peace agreements with many of our neighbors, and we have thriving relations with the United Arab Emirates, with Bahrain, Morocco, and numerous other Arab and Muslim states. And yet, there are those that wish to destroy the Jewish state. We know that we will prevail also thanks to the friends we have, and particularly the Kingdom of Eswatini.
His Majesty King Mswati III says the Kingdom of Eswatini will greatly benefit from Israel, as the State of Israel is amongst world countries that have immensely developed.
And we're confident that we will continue with your appointment to look at other areas of cooperation. We are very pleased to learn that Israel is one of the advanced countries when it comes to technology, cybersecurity, and of course in agriculture and so on. And Eswatini being one of the developing countries and so on, we are quite keen to draw a lot of expertise from your country in most of these areas. And we are looking forward that with your people who have that kind of expertise, we can always count on Israel to give us that particular support.
Ever since 1968, the strongest sense of friendship has brought the two nations of Eswatini and Israel very close. On the news, I am Polile Mazia at Lozita Palace.
The acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jabulani Mabuza, says the Eswatini Electricity Company is in negotiations with Eskom to renew the existing bilateral agreement on electricity that is coming to an end in 2025. The minister has been speaking in Parliament during the debate on the first quarter performance report for the 2022-2023 financial year by Senate portfolio committees.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy tabled its first quarter performance report for the 2022-2023 financial year before the Senate Portfolio Committee. The acting Minister of Natural Resources, Jabulani Mabuza, in his preamble said the ministry has received grant funding from the Global Infrastructure Fund for the production of 40 megawatts of biomass energy.
In the bag, you banakes even. Na yo yasechen litigo liyayisebenta through i-parastatal lokuthi ngabe sendanjani ukukhulisa umkhicito wa electricity in the country lena nje biomass sayivele isebhandeni la khona sitawuba khona nangabe into ihambe kahle kuleto tingaphane kuthola biomass longa nga 40 megawatts nekuthi ke sesidi engagile netingaphane letikhona eveni leti ngakhona kusikhicitela biomass lomnengi kusisive ukuthi dona dingakhona kufika kuphi naleyo iyasetshenzwa sisho ke nokuthi uya engagezwa ke nabakamakhelwane mhlawumbe nizabende ukuthi i-contract lesinayo ya lephela konga 2025 ikhona ukuthi irenewe nekuveta nje timbungeni ngokuthi vele le contract arrangement ya 25 years into nje lechubekako lamave la ebese ayachubeka naseyiyanga sekupheleni kuye kuphinzeke bese kuyavunyelwana lese iphinzeke iyasayinwa sekuyachujeka.
Senators then debated the ministry's report.
Sajabula kakhulu nayikhulunyiswa lenzaba naye water supply leyo project leyo leta supply kunathi indzawo tabomgcolweni mafutheni uthi engabe seyihambe nje kangakanani ngoba vele solo sive siyabuda ngoba lamanti vele wonke umuntu uyawadzinga lamanti
bakhala lapha kamanzini man tiko lobisa semageseni bakhala ngalokuthi le turnaround time naso uthole le quotation esihlalo wabhadala semele uyo installelwa ungazi ukuthi nje kukhona labangafuni ukwenza umsebenzi khona lapha.
Natural resources uyasebenza kakhulu kwami nje kudumisa nduna yembuso.
The minister then responded to the debate.
Daba ukuthi leyo organization noma labo bantu labe bayi group abambophe phela buka lehloniphekile abambe bambophe umuntu nangabasajeti imali tebantu ngoba akekho umuntu lonelungelo lokudla imali tebantu nangabasatidlile akaboshwe kepha ke nangabe bangakambophi bese ke thina siyabambisa ke la singabambisa.
The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy is yet to submit written responses before the House. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samka Siwekoza with Skumbuzo Dlamini, Parliament.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pilar Buthelezi, says under the Student Loan Recovery Project, the ministry has collected over 14 million emalangeni in a period of 3 months. The minister has been speaking in Parliament during the debate on the first quarter performance reports by Senate portfolio committees.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security was, amongst other government ministries, scheduled for the debate of the first quarter performance report for the 2022-2023 financial year on Thursday. The debates are led by Senate portfolio committees. Delivering his preamble before the House, the Minister of Labour, Pilar Buthelezi, said the ministry under the Student Study Loan Recovery Project has collected over 14 million emalangeni in a period of 3 months.
Kodwa nje ba abantwana sitha sibeke ukuthi kulo 361 million lebesiphakelwe yena end of March. Nasicala le kota, Madam Chair. As at the end of June, bese suspended in the excess of 200 million. Kuleo mali. The balance be around 150 something million. But as in Mile Pambi Wako, we've spent in the excess of 300 million. Academic year. So that's the situation we're faced with. Ingapane le sayicela kwekuthi sibambise kolegen. Iyaqhubeka nokusikolekela imali. Kulo 3 months lesimbikela konje namuhla ikhonile ukuthi i-enlisted about 364 laba sebavumile ukuthi sebangakhona ukuchubeka babhadale ama-scholarships ama-study loans lebe bawatholile kuhulumende lokwenta lokwekuthi akhone ukubhakuda uhulumende kusitala abanye abantwana lesikuphusata Madam Chair sicele nakwekuthi labangwenyile mane baphumele balena ngoba baningi bakhona balamenene siyacela nje siyanxusa ukuze sitophila lesikhwama kusitakale nalamanye amaswati lamaningi kungaba kuhle nabangavela ngoba kule kota lesiyibikelako lo 3 months sikhonile ukukoleka imali lengetulu kwa 14 million kule student loan recovery fund, Madam Chair.
Senators then debated the report.
Nyalo nga September kutaba ne summit yebantu yebaholi bemhlaba bemave lawo langaphasi kwa UN. Umbuto wami ke sihlalo sami noma i-comment yami ithi bengafisa kuva ngokuthi because the consultative meeting it is very important because ngicabanga ukuthi le bandla la education lehamba libutha umuvo litiko lendvuna ngicabanga ukuthi ngilitiko lelikey because lona ngilo lelenda lama test nasetikolweni bengafisa kuva ke endvuneni ngokuthi ingabe kukhona labakuphosile ngoba nanglo September ududane kufuna ukuthi kutholakale umuvo kokuthi umuvo walakangwane bona babona ukuthi ifundo yabo bayibhekisaphi.
Umbuto wami stands ngokuthi simakhi at the present situation siyabona timo vele nema subvention ngiyabona sayancipha. Usebenza njani simakhi? Nimsita kanjani ngoba uyadzinga lokho ukuthi kube khona lokuncane lobe kungangena nakuye kuzothatha ibone naye akhona kusimama uyindlela nemsita ngayo uthatha isimamelo ngoba phela ngala sekude lokungenabo
engabe lama challenges lenta lokuthi kube nalama delays ngoba ayini lama challenges la ingcinamba kakhulu ngoba lapha uthi kuphinze tikhanze ukuthi nalabantwana lema tertiaries batikhanza sebaphinze sebenta lomsindo yethi lomsindo so wenta ngathi sekuyi procedure ukuthi whenever ku tertiary nase umele uthole lokuthile njengale allowance sebita wente umsindo ukuthi engabe ndvuna lehloniphekile through your chair ukuthi engabe kude ngitaba lebetingentiwa ukuthi just to improve lendlela yokukhulula kwalama allowances.
The Minister of Labour last week announced that from this point on, no further scholarships will be awarded before the budget amount and no appeals will be considered to minimize the delays in the payments of allowances and tuition fees. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Suekoza with Kumbuzo Dlamini, Parliament.
The House of Senate says the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs is the backbone of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Hence, it is so discouraging to learn that they are allocated a limited budget. This has been said in Parliament during the debate of the first quarter performance reports by the Senate portfolio committees.
Litiko letemidlalo emasiko netindzaba tebantfu labasha letfule umbiko wekusebenta kwaleli tiko esigaba sekucala semnyakatimali wahulumende wa 2022-2023 ngalesine emsebentini lochutshwa ngemakomiti labo wekusebenta kwematiko ahulumende endlini yetimphunga. Leli komiti liholwa ngumphanenkosi Tsandzisiwe njengasihlalo. Indvuna leli tiko Harris Bulunga ithi leli tiko liyachubeka nekusukumisa tinhlelo tekutfutfukisa bantfu labo. The Ministry of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs has on Thursday delivered its first quarter performance report for the 2022-2023 financial year before the Senate Portfolio Committee. The Minister of Sports, Harris Bulunga, on his preamble said the ministry has been implementing and accelerating programs that will put young people on the path towards decent and sustainable livelihood. The minister says to bring much-needed services to the young people across the country, the ministry has also been accelerating a comprehensive plan to rehabilitate youth centers and make them one-stop shop centers for key services and information needed by young. After the minister's preamble, senators then debated the report.
Solo niyakhosela kanti phela onke ama-office ahulumende asabuyenza wonye ngathi buta lothi kusho ukuthi vele le office noma le ministry ithatheleka phansi
ngobe ngiyeva lokuthi ikhona le mali lekutiko manje kumbe lekutholaka ngathi noma ngisuke ngithola ukuliciniso yini ngokuthi labantwana abakhalayo ukuthi ungathi ngilendlela yokuthola le mali noma ngilemicabo wena usho ukuthi kuningi kakhulu labakufunayo umuntu wami uthi ke naseyihleli le mali litiko lithi ke seyani
Maswati labethathwa ngemgcibelo amikiswe emasojeni ahambe ayotrainer kona lokho nje kungabasita labantwana lokwathi nje ukuthi ngemgcibelo sitawuya la siyakhona semasojeni noma semaphoyiseni sitawufike sitrainwe ngale sitawutrainwa ngakho ngeke kufanane nokuhlala nje la ngaphandle.
Le youth fund wende kakhulu mehluko esiveni semaswati jikelele sicale ukuthi iyalibatiseka ile youth but nyalo is reality kufuna ukuthi ke nakhona siwafake lamandla.
Ngicela ukubuza ke endvuneni ukuthi kusukela baqalele iproject lena benda njani labamphana lapho ke khona indaba bayakhona lokupick up ukuthi bangakhona ukuthi bafundise ngalokuthi phela wotani bantwana ndo bakaticelo noma ngabe kunemicabolo engaka.
The minister was also afforded an opportunity to respond to the debate.
Ukubuka ukucathanisa inombolo vele abantu labasha labaweswele lo msebenzi kusese pass. Ngiko nathi silitiko kusishaya lokuthi yini indlela lesingadenda kosilabantu labasha bayithakasele lokuvela lema officeini aka youth fund batositakala. Siyadlalela nesikhalo tabo bakhalile ke vele ukuthi lemicabo mina ngikakhulu sesekudlalele phansi ke sakubuka sakubona lokuthi letincabekelwane letinengi sitinciphise sawende ama proposals ngithi sende ama proposals ngalokuthi i-youth fund isikhwama semali lokusho ukuthi simanejwa leka Ministry of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs kepha njengathi tonke isikhwama temali imigomo yakhona yakhiwa e-Ministry of Finance.
The ministry is expected to submit written responses in the House before the end of this week. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samka Suekoza with Kumbuzo Dlamini, Parliament.
Dear viewers, now take a look at our financial updates.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV, and for your sports news tonight, the Minister of Sports, Harris Bulunga, says there's an urgent need for the country to build a new stadium that is of international standard and be able to host both CAF and FIFA games. Minister Bulunga was speaking during the debate of the first quarter report of the 2022-2023 financial year with Portfolio Committee of the Ministry in the House of Senate.
During the debate of the quarter report of the 2022-2023 financial year with the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Sports in the House of Senate, members raised the concern of the ongoing issue of the country currently spending a lot of money when hosting international competitions such as CAF and FIFA games, where teams have to use neighboring stadiums as local stadiums are not at international standards.
Ngiyakhala imfela ngikhalela live ukuthi sesiyahlupheka manje Nkosi yami siyangena phela sesijabulela ukuthi siyawina wina sesemukwa lokuthi sibukelane siwa siyodlala le kulenye live ngcono siyekele siphume kulelo
nami ngidlulisa ukukhala nje noma nokulilela litiko nendvuna ngokuswelakala kwestadium eMaswatini ukuthi abelo soke aphuma yawuthekela stadium ngaphandle.
In response, the Minister for Sports, Harris Burunga, urged Senate members to support the ministry and government in seeing the need for the construction of a new stadium that is at required international level.
Umuntu bangakusho lokho ukuthi vele selive noma simcocotha lo somhlolo zama kumlungisa sithandaza nokuthi agcina phasile kepha vele sekuyasibida Timbunga ukuthi nesibambise la nasibambisa khona live lakhe stadium lesisha.
For the rehabilitation of the second phase at Somplo National Stadium, the Ministry of Sport has already spent 15 million emalangeni for the installation of synthetic running and synthetic artificial turfs, together with the media tribune, amongst other things. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera with Samgesio Koza and Skumbuzo Dlamini. Parliament.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a recap of today's headlines. His Majesty King Mswati III has received letters of credence from the Federal Republic of Germany and Israel. The acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jablan Mabuza, says the Eswatini Electricity Company is in negotiations with Eskom to renew the existing bilateral agreement on electricity that is coming to an end in 2025. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pilap Teleze, says under the Student Study Loan Recovery Project, the ministry has collected over 14 million emalangeni in a period of 3 months. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.